less than $1 a day? All of you would answer no. You would not see these conditions or pay in America, yet you see these in American factories overseas. These conditions are horrendous. Factories owners promise to enforce these rules, but trick inspectors when they come to see these regulations. There is a need for more regulation in these factories and stricter enforcement. Workers overseas endure awful conditions and pay. Conditions overseas don't meet American standards. These workers earn about $1 a day. These factories not only have awful working conditions, but do not meet building standards. Martin Moylan of NPR News reports in April of 2013, over 1,000 Bangladesh garment workers died in a collapsing building for producers of Target. Many overseas factories do not have emergency exits, which trap workers inside. And if they do have emergency exits, most of the times they are locked. Other conditions that workers endure are being promised raises that they never receive. They also get promised time off that doesn't happen. These workers are forced to work in these conditions because of American companies. This is why companies are located overseas, because they are able to force workers to work in these conditions. These conditions need to change. Factory owners of American companies claim they follow regulations. This surely isn't true. They trick the inspectors that come. They do this by unlocking their emergency exits and not showing them the whole factory. Basically, they cover up the violations that are occurring. An article by Clifford and Greenhouse of the New York Times explained a thorough examination by the Times, revealing the flaws of the inspection system. Factory owners misrepresent and change records of production to maximize profits at any means needed. Companies do not follow through with the requirements and inspections nearly enough. According to Shara Tifkin of CNET, an Apple factory in China has been accused of human rights violations by the China Labor Watch in April of 2013, but then again in September of 2014 with the same human rights violations. Factory owners need to be under closer inspection. There should not be flaws in the inspection system. There is a need for stricter regulation and enforcement. There are several benefits to increasing regulation and enforcing them more strictly and vigorously. Mushrat Begum, a worker at the Rana Plaza, the building that collapsed, says, "Our conditions are horrible. We basically never get a day off. Improving conditions would definitely improve the lives of the workers that have jobs in these factories. Adding regulations would make it more expensive for companies to have foreign factories, which would decrease outsourcing and create jobs in America." Stephen Henn of NPR states, in 2011, Walmart had to hire 9,800 separate factory inspectors for their overseas factories. If these factories were located in America, that would not be a regulation. There are many benefits that come from stricter regulations of overseas factories. In conclusion, there should be more regulations of overseas factories. Due to horrible working conditions, the deceitment of factory owners about these conditions, and the benefits that would occur with strict regulation and enforcement. There needs to be action taken that results in better laws and forcing companies to oblige to these laws. You wouldn't want to work in these factories for American companies. Why should others be subjected